Hi, welcome to Job Seeking During a Pandemic. Catchy title, I know. The truth is, the tips we're going to uncover during the next few minutes will help even when we're not in a pandemic. So let's get started. Today we're going to go over three things, a few tips under each: setting your resume apart, stepping up your social media presence, and what can you do right now to set yourself above all of the other candidates. I'm Trisha. Nice to meet you all. Native Michigander, married to my boyfriend Scott. We have 2 adult children, 2 cats, and as you can see, 1-year-old pup named Andy. If you visit my Instagram, we'll talk about later, it's really all about Andy and his presence. I'm a certified life and business coach that's been in recruiting for over 10 years. Since 2018, I've been the Director of Recruiting for an incredible team at Strategic Recruiting Services. We're a boutique HR resource for small to mid-sized companies. So thanks for hanging out with me today for the next few minutes. Now let's get you some tools to jumpstart your search. The most important step in setting your resume apart is making it a reflection of you. Here's a secret. Many managers don't look past the scan. They want to see what titles you've held, your length of employment, and gaps between jobs. And what you want to do is make them read about you. Hey, you're not just any other Jane or Joe, you're unique. But how can you make them see that in one sheet of paper? That's the eternal question, isn't it? Style. Things to keep in mind. Your font should be clear, easy to read, large enough to be read without a magnifying glass. Probably a font size of about 8 or larger. There are hundreds of templates available on the internet for free. Select one that makes you happy or make one your own, especially if you're a creative. Choose your favorite color or even settle on black and white. Add your picture if you like. Most importantly, remember the style should reflect you, your personality, and your desired position. Hey, if you're a fact-driven, head-down worker, probably a bright, flamboyant, colorful resume is really not a reflection of you. Stay away from that. Make sure this mirrors who you are. Priority, of course, to, like I said, know who you are, but also know what you want. After your contact information, there's a space for a profile, a goal, an objective, whatever. It doesn't need to be long. It does need to communicate about yourself. Honestly, if yours is currently reading something like a self-motivated professional seeking to use all of his or her skills to better the future of your company, you need to change that. Okay, 75% of the resumes that I read include some semblance of prefabricated words made by somebody else. Here's a decent example. I am a detail-oriented problem solver who enjoys finishing puzzles. I like to do math equations for fun and spend Saturday mornings balancing my checkbook. My eagerness for accuracy will be an asset to your accounting firm. Something like that paints a true picture and lets the employer know who you are and your passion for this job. Make sure that your profile does the same and reflects who you are and the job that you want. Today, in setting your resume apart, is presenting yourself clearly. We are in this Twitter world. Everything is 140 characters or less. It is really important that your resume is short, simple, to the point, but also clear. Okay, it's not important that you list every task under every job title that you've had. It is important that we know your skill set, we know your soft skills and your hard skills, your technical skills, and the types of programs and everything that you work with. It's not important that you annotate for every single job that you've worked with Microsoft Windows. We understand that if you've done it for one, you have the skill. Make sense? So keep it short. A lot of resumes we used to believe had to be on one sheet of paper. I believe that even up to 2 is fine, but honestly, I have seen some IT personnel with 8-page resumes. I don't read past page 2 unless I'm compelled to do so. It's got to be incredibly interesting in order for me to read past page 2. Okay, keep that in mind. The resume should simply be a snapshot of the full picture that draws me in to learn more about who you are. People know you're looking for a job. There may be some untapped resources in your network. Use whatever social media presence you already have to let others know you're looking. You don't have to hire a billboard with your picture on it, although that might be a cool idea for the right industry. But tell your network and see what pops up. Make certain your resume is available as possible. Your profile must have the same information as your resume. I know this part can be tedious, but your objective is to get the employer to read more and want to invite you to the interview. Whatever job boards you use, make sure you've uploaded your resume and not a decision letter from the unemployment office. Yes, this has happened. Take the time now to make sure your most recent resume is updated in all your social media arenas, including LinkedIn, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, whatever job boards you use. Nope, I'm not talking about dating apps, but make sure you're attractive to the job of your dreams. More and more employers are using social media to learn about the candidates they're looking. They want to see who you are, what you say, and how you say it. Does your social media look like the current proverbial Karen? Is there a lot of nitpicking and arguing in a professional manner to get the needed outcome? If so, you may be an excellent match for the accounts receivable position they have open. Are you argumentative and mean-spirited in your communication? If so, your resume may have just been thrown away. Are you a positive, encouraging little ray of sunshine? And the list goes on. Again, the point isn't to call you out. The point here is to make sure your social media represents your personal brand. I'm going to give just one tip for this last section because it's that important. If you were released from your last job due to the pandemic, that can be noted on your resume. Other beneficial things to add include what you're doing right now while you're job searching. Are you taking online classes? Are you staying up to date with your peers, with their knowledge, with the latest technology? Are you volunteering by helping out in the needs of your community? If you haven't been, there's no better time to start. There are food banks, food giveaways, disaster relief organizations, a flurry of other opportunities, maybe even in your own backyard, that you can make a difference. Do you have an elderly neighbor who needs a knock on the door and a friendly smile and wave through the window? Be a neighborhood good Samaritan and let your resume reflect that. We all have opportunities in front of us right now, and I encourage you, fill your gaps with powerful things. We looked at setting your resume apart, stepping up your social media presence, and the things you can do right now. And I hope you have found some great tips that you can use, not just keep them in your back pocket, but implement them to set yourself apart while you're job seeking. A message about what part of this was most impactful or helpful to you. Let me know how your job search is going. Also, I'm considering hosting a roundtable where we hear from a variety of hiring agents, managers, and job seekers. If you'd be interested in making the communication more, lending your ear, your questions to it, please give me your email address. I'll make sure you're invited. Thanks again, and I wish you the absolute best as you seek the next right career step for you.